Today, we become legends.
Hey, my name's Enter, welcome back to the channel for another quick update on Hecate. We've got a closer look for her as she's coming into Smite 2 with the rework, which hopefully means she will be in Alpha 3. Usually when they do these kind of closer look posts for Smite 1 gods, it means they're coming pretty soon after, so hopefully that means she's going to be in Alpha 3. We've got some kit information, some design information and stuff in this post to go over, so let's just jump right in. So she is a Greek goddess of sorcery. In terms of gameplay specialization, she's going to be ranged, magical damage, int focus, burst damage, and some crowd control and utility in there as well. Hecate is a complex goddess of mysterious origin. It's theorized that she could have been formed from the darker aspects of Artemis, formed into a unique goddess. Others have speculated that she was introduced to Greece from a nearby culture, then perpetuated into Greek literature sheerly by her popularity. Regardless of her beginning, she quickly rose to a widespread worship, culminating in cults dedicated solely to her. The earliest references to her describe her as extremely powerful, though obscure. She was not clearly defined physically, but she was a powerful benevolent force, a protector. It was centuries later that she became associated with the dead, the moon, crossroads, and witchcraft, which seems to be a little bit more sort of what they're going for with this design of her. When we set out to design Smite 2's interpretation of Hecate, we wanted to reflect this complex history in her visuals and persona. Our Hecate would not simply be an evil witch, she would have strong Greek origins infused with various aspects and interpretations of witchcraft and other magics from many eras of history. So core themes, the main core theme here is sorcery. Sorcery is a broad term that encompasses more types of magic than just witchcraft. We didn't want to limit Hecate. Sorcery is usually associated with the darker sides of magic, which Hecate will be familiar with. Her kit includes multiple plays on magic itself, interacting with other gods of Smite in unique ways. So unique gameplay features relating to her magical interaction. A debuff that triggers bonus damage whenever the target is hit, synergizing especially well with gods with fast-ticking effects like Anubis and Kukulkan. So we've seen similar stuff, I guess, in Smite before. You know, you have like Charon that marks a god and then you gain shield every time you hit them, but instead this is going to be triggering damage every time you hit them. Well, the fact that it's going to work with tick damage is interesting. You know, it's going to be insane, obviously, on stuff like this here with, like, Anubis. An ability that charges up based on abilities activated in the area by anyone on either team. This provides a unique opportunity to quickly deal a large burst of damage when used wisely in the area of a team fight. So this is probably an ability that's going to be carried over from her initial design that we saw, like, a month or two ago. That, like, circle she puts up in the sky, that like, glyph, and then it charges up based on abilities used and then slams down and deals damage. I'm really hoping here they don't limit this too much. I think it could be really interesting if like there's pretty much no limit to how much this could be charged, and like if you do put it in like perfect positioning in a team fight right before like 10 abilities go off, it should be able to pretty much one-shot people in my opinion. Like Smite 2 is trying to be a little bit more crazy with its designs. Even Smite 1 to a certain extent has gone a little bit off the rails, and I feel like it would be really cool if they don't limit this. You know, it'd be a typical Smite thing to say, oh, this could only charge up from 3 abilities, or every subsequent ability after the first one is half effect or something. I would rather they didn't limit it whatsoever. You know, still give it a decent base damage, but like if you do manage to get this thing charged up by like 10 abilities going off near it, it should just straight up one-shot someone. I think that would be cool. It would be hype. It's not going to happen very often, but when it does, I think you deserve that reward, and I think it would be really hype for like clips and stuff like that. So hopefully they don't limit this too much. An ability that provides a new type of health shield that only absorbs magical damage. So nothing too crazy there, but definitely interesting. Going to make her better as an anti-mage, which, you know, she's already a bit of an anti-mage with this ability as well, so that definitely seems like she might have some kind of a niche as, you know, maybe a counter pick to certain mid laners, or even just as a support in terms of like deleting mid laners. Additional gameplay features. A passive that features the new interact feature from Smite 2 in 2 unique ways. So yeah, we did see this with the original design as well. She can buff gods, I believe, with the interact key, and then she can also buff towers with the interact key. Maybe they'll have changed up the way this works in the new design, not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure she just like buffed up towers with some extra damage and buffed up gods with some extra damage using the interact key. A projectile that alternates between themes and effects each time it is fired. So we saw in the reveal video for the rework that this is going to be her one. She sort of like summons one aspect of herself to the side of her and you fire it. And then the ability icon changed, and it seems like the next time you fire it is going to do something slightly different. Also an ability that can reposition multiple opponents at once and allow allies to teleport between locations using interact. We've seen this on the gameplay reveal, of course. This is her ultimate. Essentially creates 2 areas, and then whichever area the enemies are in, they get teleported to the other area. So if they're in the far away area, they get teleported to you, and if they're in the close area, they get teleported away from you. And then after the fact, allies can use their interact key to quickly teleport to the other side of it. So overall, this is definitely a lot more interesting than the initial design we got. You know, the ultimate's a lot cooler. Hopefully they don't limit this charging up ability too much. A shield that only absorbs magical damage is very cool for like an anti-mage style. In terms of unique artistic and technical features. An entirely new physics-driven cloth animation. Yeah, we've seen this in a lot of the reveals for her previously. She's got very cool cloth animations with her cloak and stuff like that. Use of her 2 additional characters in her ability animations and her alternate forms, and a world material post-process. Yeah, we've seen this as well, where she sort of goes into the spirit world for, I believe it's her 3, if that's still how it's going to be in the rework. Supporting themes, crossroads, triplicate forms, and celestial bodies. Hecate's sorcery is inspired by the other themes referenced in her mythology. The concept of crossroads is especially interesting as a unique way to inspire magical abilities. This is obviously themed into the new ultimate. Commonly, this term refers to the relationship between life and death, but in Hecate's case, it appears to be more literal. Statues of Hecate are often placed in doorways, holding torches, lighting the way for travelers, or deterring trespassers. It was this theme that inspired many of her original abilities, which were eventually reworked. I don't know how that inspires the ultimate, but sure, it inspires her new ultimate a lot more. Those abilities still feel strong as a concept, but we struggled to fully realize them, so we pivoted more heavily into the meta magic design. This theme remains in one pivotal place of her kit, an ultimate ability that can transport up to 10 gods on the battleground from one location to another. In many popular artistic depictions, Hecate has 3 forms, 3 bodies, or 3 faces, often representing different aspects of her mythology. In Smite 2, we utilize this to inspire the gameplay and visuals of her abilities. Hecate herself, as the player controls her, is the intersection of her other 2 forms. She is balanced and wields powerful dark magic, but also uses it to protect, not destroy. Her other forms are the embodiments of power and affliction, 2 different paths to victory. Power form is a surging emissive blue and appears in her highest damaging abilities. Affliction form is dark purple and depicts her various ways of controlling a fight through attrition and utility. So that's pretty cool. You've got like sort of the base form that is what you walk around in, and like probably your auto attacks are done, and then like some of her more damaging abilities, because she is a bit of a sort of hybrid of a damaging and a like supportive and utility based design, which I think is definitely a lot cooler than her original design for sure. But yeah, you've got that like power form that is going to be more in tune with your damaging abilities, and then you've got that affliction form, which is a little bit more like for her ultimate and like maybe her 3 and stuff like that. Finally, cosmic symbols adorn Hecate's clothing and abilities. This elegant nod to witchcraft fits well with her Greek origins. So a little bit on the artistic process here. We've got some like initial designs that they went for with Hecate, so a bunch of different ones here that they always do, where they're sort of like sketching up a mock of like how they want her to look. A more realized concept here of generally how she is looking in game at the moment, as we've seen from a lot of the reveals and stuff like that. And then a bit of her card art that we've already seen before, of course. Gameplay. Hecate is a core of a traditional mid laner, but with a variety of unique utility features. We expect that she has viability in multiple roles, potentially with tankier builds exceeding the damage ones. So that's interesting. I wonder if like early testing of this new kit, they've actually found out that like, yeah, she does kind of work well with the tanky build. That should be cool. Her kit has potential to take primary role in different directions based on balancing alone. Just how much she needs those int spikes could easily sway her from role to role depending on the rest of the meta. In testing, her mid and support have both felt strong. Yeah, seems like there's definitely some powerful supportive aspects to her, you know, especially the ultimate, and I imagine the 2 can probably still do good damage even without a lot of int in your build, just if the base damage scales up based on abilities cast. And, you know, maybe she's going to have some strong CC in her kit as well and stuff like that, so very interesting. This goddess has truly evolved throughout the generations of history and undergoes yet another metamorphosis in her depiction within Smite 2. Meet your enemies at the crossroads and use their own magic against them. Pull them in and destroy them, or banish them away from your presence. Control the battleground of the gods like never before. So yeah, there you go, boys. Just a little closer look post into Hecate, who will, I assume, be dropping in Alpha 3 based on how much information we've been getting about her new kit. Definitely an improvement, I have to say. She's still a mage. I'm probably not going to be like Omega interested in her, to be honest, but this is definitely a way cooler, more dynamic, more interesting kit that utilizes Smite 2 systems a little better compared to the like basic kind of bland one that we got before. So yeah, it should be exciting. Hopefully she drops into the alpha fairly soon, and then maybe we'll even start getting news on some other Smite 2 gods, because I imagine that they've probably got quite a few lined up that they want to bring to Smite 2. But yeah, just a quick update video for you guys there on a closer look for Hecate. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in another one later on.